Welcome to our deep dive on Latin American history. We've got quite a few sources to work with today.
Yeah.
Videos, some articles, and even some of your own notes. And they all point to how diverse the narratives of this region are.
Yeah.
It's going to be a journey, starting all the way back with the arrival of humans in the Americas
Right.
and going all the way to the fall of the Inca Empire. One of the things that really intrigued me in the video was this idea that Latin America is actually a pretty recent invention.
Yeah, that is fascinating, isn't it? That the term Latin America comes so much later.
Yeah.
But as you said, the history of this region goes back millennia.
Right.
It really makes you think about those traditional timelines.
Absolutely. And the video starts us off with this powerful statement that all humans in the Americas are essentially intruders since Homo sapiens originated in Africa.
Yeah, it's a good way to frame our starting point.
Definitely. It really gets you thinking.
It challenges that notion of indigenous populations as somehow separate from the broader human story. So the timeline of human migration is crucial here.
Okay.
Humans left Africa, about 500,000 years ago?
Yeah.
And incredibly, within a few thousand years, they'd already reached the southern tip of South America.
Wow. What a journey that must have been.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine those early humans navigating these vast landscapes.
Right. As hunter-gatherers.
Yeah, adapting to all these different environments.
It really speaks to our resilience and our drive to explore.
Absolutely.
And it's a much longer chapter than many realize. The video actually has this analogy about compressing human history into a single year.
Okay.
And in that year, it took us 9 months.
9 months.
To make the transition from nomadic life to agriculture.
Wow. 9 months of hunting and gathering?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's a striking visual, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so let's unpack that shift to agriculture.
Okay.
The sources say that it started around 10,000.
Yeah, 10,000 to 12,000 years ago.
12,000 years ago in the Americas. What were some of the key developments in that period?
Well, this period marks the rise of settled communities.
Right.
The beginnings of civilization as we know it. More sophisticated social structures, the development of agriculture, and eventually the building of the first cities. And a great example from this time is Corral, the oldest known city in the Americas.
In Peru.
In present-day Peru, yeah.
Corral is amazing. 3000 BCE.
Yeah.
With this complex architecture. Pyramids, plazas.
It challenges the traditional narrative of where and when civilizations first arose.
It does.
What's so fascinating about Corral is that it really disrupts the
Yeah.
assumption that civilizations had to start in certain places like Mesopotamia.
Right.
The complexity of Corral shows that innovation was happening globally.
Right.
And its influence on Peruvian culture has been profound.
Mm.
There are continuities in social organization, religious practices,
Wow.
even agricultural techniques that can be traced back to this ancient city.
So even thousands of years ago, humans were forming complex societies, developing specialized roles.
Yeah.
Really laying the foundations for everything that came after.
And it's important to remember that this wasn't just happening in the Andean region. At the same time, on the other side of the continent,
Right.
another major civilization was taking shape.
The Olmecs.
The Olmecs,
It's
exactly.
the first major civilization in Mesoamerica.
That's right.
I love that detail from the video about how they referred to themselves
Oh, yeah.
as people who live where the rubber trees grow.
It brings their environment to life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Connection between these early civilizations and their surroundings.
You're right.
The Olmecs weren't just building cities, they were deeply connected to their ecosystems.
Yeah.
But what really sets them apart is their creation of this complex symbolic system for communicating spiritual and earthly concepts. Massive stone heads, intricate carvings, jade artifacts,
Wow.
all with layers of meaning.
How did they develop such a sophisticated system without a written language, though?
That's a question that continues to puzzle us.
Yeah.
It seems they relied heavily on oral traditions
Right.
and visual representation to convey complex ideas.
Right.
And that symbolic system, along with other Olmec innovations,
Yeah.
would go on to have a profound impact on later Mesoamerican cultures.
Like the Maya and the Aztecs.
Like the Maya and the Aztecs, exactly.
Speaking of empires, the video talks about the rise of imperial states
Yes.
in both Mesoamerica and the Andean region around the beginning of the Common Era.
Yeah.
And it points out something I hadn't really thought about before.
What's that?
The significance of urbanism in Latin America.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We tend to think of early empires in terms of Europe or Asia,
Right.
but cities were also emerging as centers of power, innovation,
Yeah.
cultural exchange across the Americas. A great example is Teotihuacan,
Oh, yeah.
that iconic Mesoamerican city,
Yeah.
a truly cosmopolitan hub drawing people from different regions.
Fostering trade showcasing impressive architectural achievements.
Can you imagine walking through Teotihuacan?
I know.
I mean, the video talked about its impressive size.
Yeah. The population,
The Pyramid of the Moon.
the Palace of Quetzalcoatl.
It even describes residential areas for different social classes.
Right.
A bustling marketplace. Evidence of all sorts of specialized crafts.
It really paints a picture of life in Teotihuacan, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't just monuments. It was a living, breathing city.
Right.
A diverse population, a complex social structure.
But even a city as magnificent as Teotihuacan declined.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Like all empires, it was vulnerable
Right.
to forces beyond its control.
Yeah.
There are theories about ecological strain,
Mm-hmm.
internal conflict,
Right.
attacks from rival cities.
A reminder that even the most powerful societies
Yeah,
are not immune to change.
they are.
It really makes you think about those forces of change
It does.
and how they shape the course of history.
In the Andean region, for example,
Yeah.
we have the rise and fall of Tiwanaku,
Yes, another major urban center.
present-day Bolivia.
That's right.
Tiwanaku emerged as a powerful state.
Around the same time as Teotihuacan.
Yeah.
And they too left behind these impressive achievements.
Yeah, Tiwanaku is so intriguing. I loved what the video said
Yeah.
about the template semi-subterraneo
Yes.
and the cabezas clavas,
The carved stone heads.
those mysterious carved stone heads.
Right.
It really adds to the mystique of this ancient city.
There have been so many interpretations of those carvings.
I bet.
From representations of different races to symbols of intimidation,
Wow.
really highlighting the enduring power of these cultures.
I love that.
Yeah.
And much like Teotihuacan, the decline of Tiwanaku is shrouded in mystery,
Yeah.
environmental challenges, shifts in political dynamics.
Could be.
But what's clear is that these early civilizations,
Yes.
despite their achievements, they were not immune to these forces of change.
That's right.
They rose, they flourished,
Yeah.
and eventually they fell,
They did.
leaving behind a legacy
Mm-hmm.
that continues to fascinate us.
And those stories, they remind us that civilization, it's not a linear progression.
No.
It's a tapestry
Right.
woven from innovation, conflict, adaptation,
Right.
and ultimately resilience.
Absolutely.
Speaking of resilience, we can't talk about pre-Columbian America without discussing the Maya.
The Maya are fascinating. I was really struck by their intellectual achievements
Oh, yeah.
and art and science.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes you question those Eurocentric views of progress.
It does.
The video even mentioned that the Maya achieved this high level of civilization without using hard metals.
Right.
How did they manage that?
It's a testament to their ingenuity and adaptability.
Yeah.
They mastered other materials like obsidian and jade
Right.
and developed sophisticated techniques for working with stone wood and textiles.
Wow.
Their understanding of astronomy was incredibly advanced, as was their calendar system.
Oh, and of course their complex writing system.
Right, their writing system.
I remember from the article that Maya writing was more than just symbols.
Yes,
It was a complete system
it was.
with grammar and syntax,
Yeah.
capable of expressing complex ideas.
Exactly. And what's even more remarkable is that Maya cities weren't unified under a single empire.
So they were more like a network of city-states,
Right, each with its own ruler.
vying for power and influence.
That's right.
Sounds a bit like a real-life Game of Thrones.
Uh-huh. It's an apt comparison.
It is.
And those rivalries, often fueled by ambition,
Yeah.
they actually spurred some incredible artistic innovation.
Oh, wow.
Maya rulers were constantly trying to outdo each other in terms of beauty and sophistication,
Interesting.
leading to these advancements in architecture, sculpture, and painting.
Wow. So competition can really drive creativity.
It can.
So we have these independent Maya kingdoms flourishing for centuries.
Yeah.
Then during the late post-classic period, a new power emerges in Mesoamerica. The Aztecs.
The Aztecs.
Their rise to dominance was so swift.
It really was.
The Aztecs are a remarkable case study in empire building.
Yeah, less than 200 years.
Wow.
They went from a nomadic tribe to the most powerful force in Mesoamerica.
Incredible.
Strategic alliances, military prowess, and this complex belief system that permeated every aspect of their society.
And their capital city, Tenochtitlan, was legendary.
Oh, yes.
The video describes it in such vivid detail.
I know, it's amazing.
Built on an island in Lake Texcoco.
Right.
With this network of canals and causeways.
Bustling marketplace.
And the awe-inspiring Templo Mayor.
Right at its heart.
Can you imagine navigating those canals?
I know.
Experiencing the sights and sounds of that marketplace.
Tenochtitlan was a testament to Aztec engineering and ingenuity.
Right.
A thriving metropolis. A center of trade and religious life.
Yeah.
A symbol of Aztec dominance.
But the Aztecs are also known for a darker side of their culture.
That's true.
The video mentioned flowery wars.
Yes.
These ritualistic conflicts.
Aimed at capturing prisoners for sacrifice.
What was the purpose of those wars?
Well, the practice of human sacrifice, while abhorrent to us today, was deeply ingrained in Aztec belief.
Okay.
They believed it was essential for maintaining cosmic balance,
Right.
appeasing the gods, ensuring the continuation of the world.
So to understand this practice, we have to really try to see the world through their eyes.
Exactly. It's easy to judge the past based on our own values.
Yeah.
But to really understand a culture, we need to see it through their lens.
Absolutely.
So while we might not condone their practices,
Right.
we can try to understand the beliefs that motivated them.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
And when we do that, we see that the Aztecs, despite their brutality, were skilled administrators.
Okay.
They managed this vast empire, maintained social order, regulated trade, invested in public works.
So from the Mayas' intellectual achievements
Yeah.
to the Aztecs' imperial ambitions,
Right.
we see all these different cultures shaping Mesoamerica.
You do.
But what was happening in the Andean region during this time?
Well, the Andean region saw the rise of the Inca,
Okay.
the last major civilization to flourish in pre-Columbian America.
Right.
And it's important to clarify the terminology here.
Good.
The term Inca refers specifically to the ruling dynasty,
Okay.
while Inca Empire refers to the final 100 years
Got it.
of a much longer development in the Andes.
So the Inca Empire wasn't just a sudden emergence.
Right.
It was the culmination of centuries of cultural evolution.
Exactly.
What were some of the key principles that underpinned Inca society?
Two core concepts stand out.
Okay.
Ailu, which refers to communal land ownership and kinship ties, and reciprocity, which emphasizes the mutual exchange of labor and resources.
Okay, so in the Alu system, land wasn't private property.
No, it belonged to the community. Fostering this sense of shared responsibility and reciprocity meant that everyone contributed to the well-being of the group.
Right.
Through labor and sharing resources.
So these principles promoted a strong sense of community.
Yeah, and social responsibility.
Right.
These concepts were woven into the fabric of Inca society.
Yeah.
Influencing everything from social interactions to economic practices.
Wow.
And when you think about the challenges of that Andean environment, this focus on collaboration and mutual support makes a lot of sense.
It's amazing how these cultures adapted.
It is.
To their environments.
Yeah.
Speaking of adaptation, the Inca were known for their incredible infrastructure.
Oh, yes. Their roads, aqueducts, fortresses.
The video really showcases the empire's reach and influence.
The Inca were master builders.
Yeah.
They connected this vast empire through a network of roads and communication systems. They also developed innovative agricultural techniques.
Right.
Adapted to that challenging Andean terrain.
Wow.
To ensure food security.
It's remarkable what they accomplished.
It is, but tragically, like the Aztec Empire.
Yeah.
The Inca Empire met a sudden end.
With the arrival of the Spanish.
The Spanish invasion, a complex event with far-reaching consequences.
What led to their downfall?
Well, internal divisions within the Inca Empire played a significant role, allowing the Spanish to exploit existing rivalries, weakening the empire from within.
So they kind of sowed the seeds of their own destruction.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
And the execution of Tupac Amaru, the last Inca emperor, marked a turning point.
Yeah.
The end of Inca rule.
And the beginning of a new era.
Spanish colonialism.
It's heartbreaking to think about the loss of these civilizations.
It is.
The disruption of their cultures.
Yeah.
The lasting impact of colonialism.
It's a reminder that history isn't just about dates and empires. It's about the lives and legacies of real people. It is. And as we wrap up our look at Latin American history before European arrival, It's clear that these civilizations were far from the virgin territory that's so often portrayed.
Yeah.
They were complex societies,
Right.
vibrant societies with rich histories and traditions.
One of the things that really stayed with me from the video was that idea that the conquest
Yeah.
led to this broken social fabric within indigenous cultures
Right.
and the ongoing struggle to reclaim their identities.
Yeah. It's a powerful reminder of the impact of colonialism
Is
and the importance of diverse perspectives when we study history.
absolutely. It challenges us to rethink those narratives we've inherited about the discovery of America.
Right.
Because for indigenous people, it wasn't a discovery at all.
No.
It was a moment of loss and disruption.
A clash of worldviews, a
Yeah.
collision of cultures that had been developing along such different paths
For centuries.
for centuries.
And the consequences of that clash are still shaping the Americas today? They are. So as we reflect on this long and rich history,
Yeah.
what are some of the key takeaways for you?
Well, it really reinforces this idea that history isn't just about the past.
Right.
It's a conversation that's still going on.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the forces that shaped our world today and recognizing the resilience of the human spirit, even when facing huge challenges.
I agree. The stories of these pre-Columbian civilizations
Yeah.
give us such great insights into human ingenuity, creativity, the power of culture.
They do. They also challenge us to question our assumptions, to
Right.
dig deeper,
Yeah.
to consider different perspectives.
Okay.
And given everything we've discussed, what narratives do you think are shaping Latin American identity today?
That's a great question, and it's one that deserves more exploration.
It does.
I'm wondering how the descendants of these ancient civilizations navigate the complexities of their heritage in a world so shaped by colonialism and globalization.
It's a journey of rediscovery, reclamation, and reconciliation.
It is.
And a reminder that history isn't finished.
Right.
It's still shaping our understanding of the world.
That's a beautiful thought.
Yeah.
It's inspiring and thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking me on this journey through Latin American history.
It's been my pleasure.
It's been eye-opening.
And for those of you listening, the journey doesn't have to end here.
Right.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking out those diverse perspectives.
Yeah.
They enrich our understanding of history and the world.
Absolutely. Well, this has been another deep dive.
It has.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.